What's up, Chiefs Kingdom?
Would you enjoy ranking the top players from the Kansas City Chiefs as we head into training camp?
If you said yes, then buckle up because that's what we're going to do. From the heart of Kansas City, we bring you Buck and Bob take on Chiefs Kingdom. I'm Bob.
I'm Buck. We're not fancy analysts.
But we have just as many bad takes, maybe less sometimes.
I don't know. At this point, I mean, it's got to be more.
Us? Really?
Yeah. I mean, just we're at like 70-30, like good takes, bad takes. So at some point, the few of them still they stack up, you know.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like, when I first started this podcast, I really felt imposter syndrome. But after doing it for a year, I just realized most of the fancy analysts, like the ones that aren't focused on Chiefs, really just, they're covering all the teams and all the sports. Like they just can't keep up. They're just wrong about a lot of stuff. So I feel pretty good about us.
I feel okay about us. I feel all right.
Yeah, we got the OGs in the house. HC Chiefs fan, Brian Parrott. What's up, guys?
Saying hi to each other, but we're just chopped liver over here.
Like, oh yeah, don't mind us. Just let everybody know, for anybody showing up after the live stream, we're going to rate the Chiefs players from top to bottom. Chiefs players with significant playing time or rookies. We threw in like Jake Brimingstool because he's a real hot, name. Undrafted free agent. But we're like, there's not, the offensive line backups and stuff. We're not doing that. So it's just going to be all the players that if you're not a huge fan, there might be players you don't know, but either way, that's what we're going to do today. Buck, do you have any questions about how we're going to do this?
Yeah. Could you repeat that?
All right. So guys, today, no.
I think I got the gist of it.
All right. Well, I say we just jump right into it, instead of usually we exchange pleasantries, but maybe we do that mid-episode instead of right at the start for new people coming in. Maybe they don't care about us and they just rather us jump right into the content. So
I barely care about us. So yeah,
I feel you there. Yeah, that's definitely true. So this is what we're going to use. This site here is called Tier Maker. So this site I used a ton during my time in gaming. And I saw the all chiefed up guys using it. And I was like, why don't I use it? I also saw Cole using it last year to do his 53-man roster. So I was like, why don't I use this? And then I realized it's used for like everything, like cooking shows. Literally this site's used for every ranking of everything. So we have 57 players. Brian in chat was asking, how many players. I put 57 players on here. I feel like I picked the players that were pertinent. I could be wrong. If I missed a player you think I should have added to the list, make sure to leave that in the comments below. I just snorted.
You could have blamed it on the dog.
The dog's eating peanut butter at the moment. He's having a good old time. So, to start it off, categories. We have GOAT, which just means like we think they're going to be NFL Hall of Fame, basically, right? Then we have Superstar, like basically top 3, top 5.
Top 5 in their position.
Yeah. And then
even top 10 in their position, honestly.
Well, top player in this role, I figured would be top 10 or 15,
Okay.
And then solid starter, just is exactly how it sounds. Future stars, we think, they're a little rough around the edges right now, but they're going to be up in the superstar area at some point. Yeah.
Yep.
Then we got solid backup. Then we got take them or leave them. And then we have the gutter category. We have Sky Tony.
We couldn't decide on Sky Moore or Kadarius Toney, so we combined them, and I think it was a good compromise. I
Yep,
wanted
so that's
Kadarius Toney.
that's the bottom of the barrel right there. So I think I could say safely right off the bat, we're gonna put Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce right here. Do you agree?
Yeah, wholeheartedly. I don't know how you can argue with that.
All right. So, but this is still a tier list. So one has to be in front of the other. Right now, we have Pat as number one GOAT. But Kelsey is probably going as, what do you say, the second best tight end of all time?
I think right now there's an argument that Travis Kelce is over Patrick Mahomes in this argument because, yes, he's number one or number two, and there's a lot of discussion about Mahomes. Is he number one? Is he number two? Is he number three? I mean, I think most people regard him in the top 3 to 5, but most people regard Kelsey as the top 1 or 2. So I would say Kelsey goes above Mahomes.
I mean, there's some people that say Patrick Mahomes is already past Brady.
Agreed. But I think
But I would say body of work. I would tend to agree that Kelsey would be in front of Pat right now. Now you could argue strength of position, right? The QB
oh yeah.
is the most important player on the team, and the tight end generally is not up there,
No.
on most teams.
Mhm.
But I don't know, man. I kind of feel like Travis should be in front. I don't know.
Absolutely.
You feel the same way?
I do. Yeah. I absolutely at this point. Yeah. You know what's funny though is if we win another Super Bowl this year and we do this at the beginning, let's just say that Travis Kelce's still on the team. I think even though they both get a ring, I think that would put Mahomes above Kelsey in this category. But that's looking ahead to future,
All right.
who knows what. But yeah, I agree. Right now, Kelsey above Mahomes.
We're
What do you
gonna
guys
leave
think?
that. Yeah. What does chat think? Like, because this is tough. Do you think like Travis deserves to have the top spot at the moment, or do you think Patrick Mahomes does?
Right now, we agree that Kelsey does. And nobody is arguing.
Nope, we're not getting any arguments. Maybe they'll
No.
come in a little bit later.
Maybe they just agree.
So I get okay. Right here, AHC Chiefs fan.
All right. Okay,
True,
guys. Stop
true.
drinking so much during the day. Mahomes has accomplished more in his short career than anyone.
True.
That's
But
so
does
by
that
far
make
true.
him a GOAT over Kelsey at the moment? He's almost for sure going to pass him. But does it make him the GOAT over him at the moment? And Kelsey did it with multiple quarterbacks. Mahomes is yet to do it without Kelsey.
Well, yeah, it's just because he hasn't had to. But everybody said Mahomes couldn't do it without oh my God, why am I the cheetah? I'm blanking on his name.
Tyreek Hill.
Thank you, Tyreek Hill. Everybody said he couldn't do it with Tyreek without Tyreek.
Not everybody.
That's true.
I was like the one dude in Kansas City said, dude, they're going to be better. Everybody was like, you're crazy.
I didn't think they
"Nope,
would
they're
be
gonna
better, but I didn't think it was going to be a problem.
I felt so cool. I told everybody on my Warcraft podcast, and there were only 5 Chiefs fans that listened to that, but they were pretty amazed by my forethought. See, Brian, Brian says 15 is 1, and so is 87. Can't really choose. I don't know. Since Kelsey's on his way out, I'm gonna leave him here right now unless somebody, brings it up. But
well, HD Chiefs fan thinks absolutely 15 over 87. Do you think 87 has one ring without 15?
All right, fine.
My
You
own,
talk to
and
me.
I can't. I mean, I can't argue. You're definitely not wrong
Yeah.
about that, HC Chiefs fan. However, when we're talking about top of their position, top of their game, Travis Kelce is all-time greatest one or two. Mahomes at this point, can you say he's number one all time? I
Can you even say he's number 2?
I mean, so for me, I know he hasn't won as many Super Bowls as Brady, but going to the AFC Championship or Super Bowl every single year as a starter, that's unparalleled. So to me, Mahomes is the greatest of all time.
We need to talk about this maybe at the end after we've done this, but last night, so I have a Samsung TV and I watch everything through my PlayStation 3, but that's set to go auto off in an hour. My TV's set to go auto off in 4 hours. So I have this Samsung TV thing, and there's an NFL channel that has like, it plays old games and it has, trivia on the side. And it has like a whole bunch of other news scrolling at the bottom. I don't know what it is. It's like the NFL on Samsung channel or something. But that game was on that first AFC championship where D Ford, never forget, did his thing. And Mel and I ended up watching the entire game. And I had forgotten how good Williams was out of the backfield catching passes. And Kelce looked amazing, and it was crazy. And Eric Berry was still there, and Houston was still there, and Ford was still there. But we'll talk about that later. But okay, so
Look who's here! The Ben Parrot is here.
we have
Brian and Ben.
We have a double parrot in the house.
They both have the orange bee as their icon, so I didn't notice it right away. Welcome, Ben. It's good to talk to you again, brother.
Welcome. All right. Well, I got to go back to HC Chiefs fan here because he's kind of pushing us to our next call here. So Chris Jones, if he is at 2 or 3, he will be pissed. But does Chris Jones go on the GOAT list?
Man, is he
going to be a future Hall of Famer?
He's definitely a Hall of Famer. I have no doubt in my mind that he is a future Hall of Famer.
First ballot?
Probably. But does that make him the GOAT at his position?
I mean, he has less sacks right now in his career than Tamba, but it is from the defensive tackle position.
Right.
So what's his name from
Ndamukong Suh?
No, from dang it, he won his last Super Bowl with the oh my gosh, why am I blanking on their name? Matthew Stafford's their QB right now.
The Rams?
LA Rams, thank you. Who was that?
Yes.
Yeah, who is that though? What's his name?
Matthew Stafford?
Defensive tackle. The best one in the game.
Aaron Donald.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What was his career stats?
Sick.
Yeah. But he was like a run stopper and
he was a everything. He was
yep.
what he
had 111 sacks. He had 111 sacks, 24 forced fumbles, 337 tackles.
He was just a force. He was like the ultimate. And that's my point with Chris Jones. He's not the greatest of all time at defensive tackle. He's just not. He's maybe in the top 10 of all time. But there's just a lot of guys there, man. There's a lot of.
But would he be a first ballot Hall of Famer? Is what I'm wondering.
I think he would be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
He's half the forced fumbles that Aaron Donald had, and he's got, he's missing 30 sacks from Aaron Donald's list too.
How many seasons difference? Because I know Aaron Donald didn't play till he was 40. I mean, he retired. I mean, I think he was past his prime, but just barely past. I want to say early 30s.
Here, we have to let Matt know here. So Matt says it takes you a solid 30 seconds for y'all to see it. Kind of bugs me every week. Like lots of times the chat's coming in and we don't address it until until we're done with a thought process. Like
But
we might see it.
there may be a delay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a small delay, but just like that's just. I mean, we can't just address everything as it comes in. So, but yeah, HC Chiefs fan makes a point here. Exactly how many defensive tackles are a huge part of their team? Very few.
Very few.
Very few.
But enough. Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh. What's that big dude that played for the Buccaneers? Warren Sapp. You know, these guys. Would you say that Chris Jones is better than those guys? I don't think he is. I don't think his stats really pile. See, that's one of the problems with Chris Jones is his stats have been kind of marred because of the way that he had to play, you know, during parts of his career.
Yeah, so Ndamukong Suh has 10 less sacks than Chris Jones at the moment retired. But he also has a lot more tackles too. So Ndamukong Suh was a double player, whereas Chris Jones is more of a pass rusher than a run stopper, you know, really. So I don't know. But here, what does Kelly have to say here?
You could make a similar argument that Mahomes wouldn't have had the early success if not for the connection with Kelsey. That's huge. I mean, you know, Kelsey was an established veteran that was already being considered as one of the greatest tight ends of all time when Mahomes came in. So, and it was an instant connection. It was. I don't know. I completely agree.
I feel okay putting Chris Jones here at number 3 in the GOAT category.
If you want to say GOAT is first ballot Hall of Famer, 100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree.
Yeah, I think that's I think I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, Kelly kind of agrees though. She said, "Love Chris, but don't think he warrants the GOAT status." Yeah, when you say GOAT, greatest of all time, you're talking about
so GOAT for
2
us
or 3.
Yeah, GOAT for us, we were basically saying like
first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, first ballot Hall of Famer type of deal, you know, because you know, like we probably would like. I mean, honestly, Tony G is probably still going to go down as the greatest of all time tight end.
You think so?
If Travis said play another, if Travis plays this year and 2 more years, Travis has it for sure. If he stays as in shape, but I mean, I was like, dude, look at Tony at the end of his career. He looked more in shape and more fit at the end of his career than he did at the beginning of his career. You know, whereas Kelsey looks like he's in a lot better shape now, but I don't know that he's that degree. Kelsey loves his Lamar's donuts. He loves his, you know, he loves his food. And Tony was able to just go to like a whole, like, I hate my life while I eat diet in his older career. And I don't know that Kelsey wants to do that.
HC Chiefs fan said, but does Mahomes have a ring without Kelsey? I say absolutely. I agree. The only thing is maybe it wouldn't have been such an electric start. You know, it might have been a little bit more work to get him there. But.
And I have to say, I agree with HC Chiefs fan completely, just based on last year. Last year, the amount of injuries our offense had, no other quarterback in the league, or I would say in history, makes it to the Super Bowl with that team, period. It just doesn't happen. So I would say I'd have to agree.
I love that Brian is watching along, but he's got his own rating system completely. He said, I'm using the 1, 2, 3, 4 rating system, see above. Where did he he had a suggestion of how we should do this. Damn. It's right. Oh, there we go. There we go. 1 makes the 53. 2 is a backup. 3 is practice squad, and 4 is camp cut. Well, 1 makes 53.
Well, we don't have a lot of camp cuts in this list. I mean,
this is going to be most of the.
Put a lot of camp cuts in here. I put some possible camp cuts in here, but that would have been just a lot of people, and it took me a lot of work to get all these names on these guys and get all these, like, I didn't just find this. I made this. Speaking of which, we'll put the link in the description for anyone that wants to do their own ranking. You can save a screenshot of it, and then you can tweet it at us and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
we'll
correct it.
definitely do that. Yep.
Make your corrections and send it in.
You can do your own bad takes over top of our bad takes.
Then we'll all have bad takes together.
All right. So should we just go in order now, or should we?
Yeah, let's go in order.
All right. Ashton Gelati. Where do we want Ashton Gelati?
It's just so hard to tell, but I mean, right now I've got a lot of hope that he is a future star.
I do too. I have a lot of hope that he's a future star. That's why I made this whole category, because we don't know.
Yeah. I mean, he could be a solid starter. He
like
could
the
be a
rookies
solid
are going to be all over the place, but I think Ashton Gelati is going to be a future star, and I don't think he's going to be a starter this year with Amenahue and Karlaftis. And, I mean, everybody hates FAU, but FAU did look pretty good towards the end of the season. I'd hate to sign him off on the year he finally figures it out. So I don't know. But then we have another rookie, our 7th round pick, Brashard Smith. Or here, hold on. Let's read Benjamin's.
All right. He said, I think Jones is the GOAT for sure. Him and Donald are top 2 GOATs in that position and commanded so much attention from opposing O-lines, more than any other dedicated defensive tackles. Then Sapp is 3, in my opinion. Okay. Man, Sapp.
Dude, Warren Sapp, man, was a force.
Dominator. Just absolutely took over games. It was amazing to watch.
Yep,
I'm not
Sapp
saying
has
Chris
very
Jones
similar
isn't that.
stats
I'm
to
just saying
Chris.
I think there's a lot more debate between him and a bunch of other guys, as opposed to like Mahomes, where there's a debate between him and 2 or 3 other guys, and Kelsey, there's a debate between him and one other guy. So that's just where I'm coming from.
All right, Brashard Smith.
Can we put him in the GOAT category yet, Bob?
No.
I know you want to.
I don't. No, I don't, because I wouldn't put Brian Westbrook in a GOAT category, but I think he's very similar to Brian, and I think he's going to have a lot of receiving yards this year. It's his skill set is what we have been missing since. Well, honestly, like Williams was actually better prior to us getting McKinnon, but his skill set is what we've been missing since we lost McKinnon, and I think Andy's going to use the shit out of it. Like, I think screens, I think just the pass out to the flat. Like, I mean, I think it's going to be good, but I don't know that he's going to be a future star. I'm feeling solid backup.
Really? Okay.
I mean, that's what that position is. Like, maybe in 3 years, maybe he becomes like a star, right? But I don't know about this year. I think he's going to be a solid backup running back that comes in 3rd down, 3rd and longs. You know what I mean?
Okay. I like that.
All right. Brian Cook. Brian Cook looked really good before he got injured, man. But last year, the dude couldn't change direction to save his life. If a receiver made a cut, Brian Cook was getting.
But he was good in coverage if he wasn't battling that cut. So I think he's a solid starter. I do.
I think he's a solid backup, but
he could go either way for me. If you want to put him in the backup,
my 2 starters that I want starting, but
put him as backup then.
But what does Chad think? Does Chad think he should be one of the 2 starters? I mean, this isn't just us. This is, we could be swayed by Chad here. Oh, guys, and while we're chatting here, make sure to hit that like button, please. Help us out.
All right, Kelly here agrees. Solid backup. Okay, so
I think so too. And he is a solid backup.
Yeah,
he so.
And maybe he can use this season to work his way up to solid starter position.
Yep. And solid backup also can be a great special teamer too. We just didn't add that, in like average special teamer would be and take him or leave him, but a solid backup would be like a solid special teamer. Which brings me to my next person, Carson Steele, who I think is a solid special teamer. He's been working with the tight ends during OTAs and minicamp, which tells me that Andy wants him to be a backup running back, a backup tight end, and play the fullback position for the never when we use it time.
I know this is so early in his career, but I would almost rather put him in the take him or leave him after his performance last season. I'm
After his
okay,
performance starting, I would agree with you
but my
because of the
problem with putting
fumbles.
him in solid backup is he solid? I mean,
He's
he's a
solid for
backup
special
at this point.
teams. Like he's definitely solid on special teams. He's a big guy. He can tackle. I mean, he's definitely solid for special teams. But I can't argue with you with the take him or
I
leave
just
him.
I just
I hate it because he's got a pet alligator. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go. Like, he's the kind of guy I wanna absolutely
I
love and
want to
get
buy him a
behind.
beer.
Yeah, I wanna go have a drink with the guy and have fun. Like, he just seems like that kinda guy. You wanna root for him. You want him to make the team. You want him to play better so that he can make the team. But after his performance from last season, and that's all that we can go on right now, that's what I think is take him or leave him.
Yep. All right. I'm gonna stick him at take him or leave him. All right. So this next one. So Chamari Connor, everybody needs to remember he played great, not last year, but the year prior as a safety. Last year, he was pushed into the slot corner position, which he did not do the best at. He
He
did
was
have
okay.
he did have a pick or two. He definitely had one pick. I don't know if he had two, but he if he's going back to safety, which there's three people that I'm down with being our starting, like two out of the three. I'm down with being the starting safeties, and Chamari Connor is one of them that I'm down with being one of the two starting safeties. What about you, Buck?
Man, when it comes to defensive backs, it's just such a blur for me to say that this guy is the definitive starter because it's just
No, no,
such a
not definitive. Solid starter,
solid starter. But I
not
mean
top
that
player in his role.
right. But that just means he's going to be one of the four starters. And man,
No,
it's
no, two safeties.
yeah, two safeties, two defensive backs, maybe three. Yeah, I'd see it as four
But
defensive
I
backs in
don't.
total.
If we're considering him a corner, I don't think he's a solid starter at all. I don't even know if he's a solid backup, in my opinion, right now. If he's a corner, if he's an outside corner or an inside corner, I don't like him as a safety. I like him as a solid starter.
I mean, I can't disagree with what you're saying. I think that what he brings to the table as a safety is definitely starter worthy. And if he's honestly, if they're starting in that position, in a position that they're not weak at, then the guy is going to be solid. So if you're a starter, you're almost solid by definition.
Well, here, so HD Chiefs fan says Jamari starter. No, tell us why. Like I'm saying, I'm agreeing with you if we're looking at him from slot corner last year, but if we're looking at him from his rookie year playing safety, he looked pretty damn good. Like, I would love to see him back at safety. I mean, he's one of the few people on our team that had interceptions last year. Did he have one or two?
I don't remember, but I didn't he have an awesome fumble recovery turn too, though?
Uh,
I feel like he did. Maybe
I
that was
mean,
the season prior.
Yeah, last year he had 2 interceptions, 1 sack. He had 19 assists, 77 tackles. Yeah, dude. No. Yeah, definitely. Sorry, HD Chiefs fan. I'm overruling you, solid starter if he plays safety. If he plays safety.
I'm chuckling a lot here because Brian is definitely playing along at home, but to his own, he's yeah, and he's narrating it as though he's like, well, these are my guys, and this is where I'm putting them. Yeah, I love it.
All right. Charles
He's a smart guy.
Amenihu.
He's a thinker. Charles Omenihu is I want to say solid starter. I really do. I think he's a solid starter. I think the
I think
reason
so too. Yeah,
I
I think definitely.
honestly I think if a team would have taken a chance on him and
I
paid
think
him a
he's
little bit
actually
more
in front
money,
of Chamari too.
probably, yeah. I just think he didn't have enough to put on film for the season to prove to any other team that he's going to be the guy that he thinks that he's going to be. But I think that honestly he's going to be close to the guy that he thinks he's going to be. I really do. If he
Yeah,
can stay healthy.
yeah, and remember, I called it all last year. As soon as he comes back, our sack count is going to go up, even if it's not him. And what happened? Sack count went up. He demands respect. He wasn't the same. He definitely came back a little too early, but yeah. This is back at Chamari.
Yeah, HC Chiefs fan had a good one too. But let's go ahead and read this from Ben. He said Shamari gets burned on the deep ball as well, but a solid plus if that he tackles well, which is good for the run game.
Well, and Ben, the whole point, we're only putting him there if he plays safety this year. If he plays corner, then that's how he gets
Probably
beat
take
deep.
him or leave
him.
him,
Yeah, we would literally move him down to take him or leave him because he just can't play corner. But safety, you don't get burned deep as a lot because you're starting back there. You know what I mean?
An HD Chiefs fan was given a response to why he would not be a solid starter. He said he's not shown the ability to stay with man in coverage, and his tackling is very weak.
Yep, and you're not gonna. Spags is not gonna put he's gonna have one safety in zone, and Chamari would be that one in zone. So, even if we were doing man, so. Yeah, I agree with that too. I can't argue with that too.
Be like, all right, everybody, man to man, except for you, Connor. We're gonna need you to just.
I mean, you have to have one guy. I mean, you can't have if everybody. There's got to be that one guy, and since he's good at tackling, that's a good one guy to have back there as your oh crap button.
Well,
that's
HD
basically
Chiefs
what he
fan
is.
disagrees with you. He said his tackling is very weak.
Well, I mean, he had 77 last year, and only 19 of them were assists. So that's a lot of solo tackles. Just saying. It's a lot of 58 solo tackles. That's a lot.
It is, yeah.
But you can also make the point that if he's at safety, he might get less tackles because he's not as far front.
We'll see.
Yep. We'll see. All right. So yeah, Charles Menahue, I think definitely
solid starter.
Solid. Chris Roland Wallace. Yep. Do you even remember him?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I definitely remember the name. He didn't have a huge role, but he did have a couple of plays.
He was one of our undrafted free agents. He was a UDFA last year. He was, he had 23 solo tackles, 11 assists, 1 forced fumble, and 1 interception. It says quarterback, but I think he played mostly safety last year, but I could be wrong. He might have also backed up Chamari Connor as the slot corner. That actually might have been what he played. I think he backed up Chamari Connor as the slot corner, and he definitely might be our second best slot corner on the roster at the moment. if I don't know how Noel Williams is gonna do at slot. Slot is tough, dude. Slot, I think, is like the hardest corner spot in the game at the moment. But
Yeah, your reaction has to be on point.
yeah, I mean, you have to be. You have so much field to cover too, and it's just yeah. I don't know though. I don't really. Our cornerback room is deep this year. I want to put Roland Wallace as take him or leave him, but I could be talked into solid backup.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and argue that he should be a solid backup, but I believe he was a solid backup last year. So it'd be hard to downgrade him. He didn't do anything to downgrade himself, but he was a solid backup to a corner that was a shitty corner because he was out of the Shamari Connor when he's going to be a better safety than he was as a corner. So, all right, yeah, let's let's put him and take him or leave him.
Yep.
Just talk myself into it. Yeah.
Should we put him above or below Carson Steele?
Below.
Yep, I think so too. I'm just not a big sold on. Right now we have the two of our undrafted free agents from last year. Take him or leave him.
I'm just so close to putting Carson Steele up to solid backup. I just.
Yep. Everybody in chat, please like it and subscribe.
Oh, sorry, man. I pushed that bubble off there. But Brian said NFL Blitz is greater than Madden. It's not my cup of tea, but I can definitely see if you're an NFL Blitz guy what the appeal is. It was a fun game, but I like the realism of Madden way.
Madden. It's kind of like, board games. Like, are you in the mood for a game of checkers, which is NFL Blitz? Or are you in the mood for like Monopoly, which is Madden? I wouldn't say Madden's chess, but I would say it's like Monopoly. It's just a longer game with a little more strategy.
But if you think that Blitz is better than Madden, that tells me a lot about you, Brian.
Blitz defense greater than Madden? No. The middle linebacker can literally tackle anybody on the field. It's like that first NFL game that came out with the Xbox. That's where we first started our league on, and literally the middle linebacker with 80 speed could get to any ball thrown before it got there, and it was just like a little silly.
He said Blitz defense is greater than Madden, and that I believe is a matter of opinion. And I just disagree. I like the realism of Madden. I like the way Madden makes you be more honest with your plays. But Blitz, I mean, for what it was definitely amazing. It was
Killer Instinct greater than Mortal Kombat. Both of them suck. Tekken's the only way to go.
Tekken was awesome.
Done. All right, so what do we got here? Creed Humphrey, superstar. I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, superstar. I mean, I think
not even top player in his role, superstar.
Like, I think in next 5 years,
top five in the NFL.
We might be talking about GOAT in 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Drew Tranquil.
He's definitely a solid starter.
Yeah. It's weird because he's kind of fallen off the last 2 years, but 3 years ago he was a monster.
But he's still solid.
I say he's solid over Shamari Connor, definitely.
Yeah,
come on. Let me put this in there. There you go. But I still think Charles Omenihu has a little bit more star power than Drew.
Okay, our chat is taking on a life of its own. Video games.
Let them talk about that. We have to keep up. Yeah, we have to keep up with the tier list, or we'll be here for 4 hours. All right, you're cool with that?
Oh yeah,
there?
Oh yeah, right there.
Elijah Mitchell, our free agent we picked up prior to the draft. He was a badass for 1 year at San Francisco, and then he's been hurt constantly throughout the rest of his career. He hasn't even played a year and a half.
This one's so tough for me, man, because I believe that he could be a future star, but he he could also be a take him or leave him guy for me.
I say we go in the middle and do solid backup just because of the injury risk. I mean, we know the guy's got talent, but I mean, there's a site that gauges possible injury, and in 2025, he's like a 96% injury possibility.
Yeah. Sorry, Brian. I loved Turok, the original Turok. That was awesome.
Yep. Stop. Do not fall into the trap.
I just saw Turok.
So I accidentally put in Elijah Badger because I thought it was Elijah Mitchell, but everybody's been like losing their crap over this guy in OTAs, which OTAs, there's no pads. Like it's show off how athletic you are catching, but nobody's gonna hit you. I don't know. Elijah Badger, I want to put in take him or leave him, but a lot of people are just like, oh my gosh, Elijah Badger's going to be the next guy. It's like, dude, who's he going to replace? Because I don't see, without injury, I don't see him making the team.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a good chance to put some of his attributes on tape, but our wide receiver room is just so
Stacked.
deep right now. I mean, barring injury, he's just sitting behind a lot of talent. But I think he could definitely be utilized in this league.
Yeah, but I just don't think he's making our team.
Right. I agree.
So
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, for some reason, our live stream didn't go to Facebook. That's just great. It says it's going to Facebook, but
yeah, it does.
I don't see it on there.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Well, oh well. Sorry, Facebook. Just have to check it out on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Felix and Duque Uzama. FAU. He played at my golf course, which makes me like him more. But
did you talk to him?
mean, no. Like I'm not that guy. Like I ran into Justin Reed.
Oh, okay.
Randomly. I did like rep. Like I almost got to pass by him between holes 8 and 2, but I just missed him, and I wasn't gonna wait around like a weirdo. So yeah, but either way, dude, he's underperformed. He was a second round pick in the draft that I actually got to go to here in Kansas City. I wasn't high on him then, but he is. No, he was a first round draft pick, late first round. They said he should have been a second round pick, but he hasn't even performed like a second round pick. He's a defensive end that has just not gotten much at all. And yeah, I don't know how to like rank him. Like he's
take him or leave him right now.
I mean, honestly, that's how
you don't want to put him in Sky Tony land.
No, I don't hate him that much just because.
Oh, he's on the list though.
Just because he did look better, like this last year. But dude, he only had 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 16 tackles. He hasn't gotten a lot of play time. That's also true. But
there was opportunity for play time this year because he was out for so long. Was he injured?
No, he was.
So why wasn't he getting an opportunity? It's not like they put somebody else out there because they were more popular than FAU. It's because they didn't think that he was good enough to do the job.
He had 2.5 sacks, and he did have a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. So I don't know if he recovered his own fumble. I forget, but he looked pretty good the postseason. He might be hitting his stride right now. I don't know.
So take him or leave him.
Yeah, that's where I have to put him. Like I don't even.
You can't put him as a solid backup because he's not. He wasn't getting solid time when they needed a backup in that position to step up. So HT Chiefs fan said, not to be an ass, but Sky has a leave him without any take him.
Well,
Sky,
that's why we have Sky has his own category.
Sky is a category of his own. Yeah, that's yep.
But I think a lot of people would put FAU in the Sky Tony category. Over take him or leave him. I think a lot of people would put FAU there.
Somebody that covers the Chiefs, it hurts me physically to pass his name between my lips, which is why he's got his own category. Well, he's got his own category with one other person.
Yeah, but we're talking about Felix.
Yeah. Felix.
Do you think he's at the very last of the list, or do you think he's above Elijah Badger?
I think he's above Elijah Badger.
Chris Roland Wallace?
No, because Chris Roland Wallace did some things last year. Felix did some things, but
last two games, or last two real games of the year, then the playoffs, he did some things, but yeah, we'll just leave it there for now.
Man, I'm really starting to think about putting Carson Steele up as a solid backup. Every time I see his name.
Dude, he's a solid special teams guy. Like, he's a special teams whiz.
And he wasn't bad as a backup running back. He was decent. He didn't get a lot of yards, but he didn't cough up the ball again. He did what he was sent out there to do.
Yeah, FAU showed some improvements towards the end of the year. That's why I'm excited to see him in camp. I don't know if he just didn't have. My guess is that the reason he doesn't get as much playing time is because he's just not getting. When we're gonna have Jason Dunn on the show here the next couple weeks, and I'm definitely gonna ask him to do some of the play call outs, and you'll see. When he does them, you'll be like, "Oh my god!" And he'll say them super fast, and it's something that a lot of people can't mentally handle, and that's why they don't make the team. And they don't come out and say that. They don't say, "Okay, well, this guy's dumb. He didn't make the team." They just say, "Oh, we're working on it. He's improving." But that's basically what they're saying: is dude's dumb. Can't and it's not even that he's dumb. It's just like I don't even know if I could do it, and I have a high IQ. So I mean, it's a special skill, that they have to really work at, and it takes a lot of work
and dedication.
Yep.
Stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're good there. Gardner Minshew.
I mean, solid backup. I mean, he's not a solid starter. If he was,
I think he's a solid starter.
If he was, he'd be a starter in this league.
You think? I mean, people have to put a lot of faith in there, but I mean, he ripped up the Chiefs while he was playing pretty good.
He's had some really good games in his career. He really has. I'm excited to have him on the team. I really am. I'm his personality, and then as far as being the backup, do I think that if Patrick Mahomes was to, for some reason, I don't even want to say any words to jinx him, but if for some reason something happened, Patrick can't play for the season, I think Gardner Minshew is probably one of my favorite backs. I mean, he's got to be my favorite backup in the league to take his place. And did Carson Wentz get a starting position? Even if he's still a backup, I think I like Gardner better than Carson last year, and I was pretty pumped for him. So I mean, if you want to put him as a solid starter, but I mean,
yeah, I'm
going to put him as a solid backup. That is literally his title. That is literally his title.
With you. Yeah, I was just messing with you. But I don't know, man.
Are we going to move Carson?
I'll move to the very end.
The very end? Okay. Yeah.
And I'll put Gardner Minshew over Elijah Mitchell.
Okay. I'm down.
Yep.
All right. I like it a lot. George Karlaftis.
Curious George.
I think right now he's one of the top players in his role.
Hell yeah, we agree right there. I can't disagree. I don't know if anybody in the chat thinks he's a superstar.
There's potential he's a superstar, but I don't
think he's just a
he's
solid
there
starter.
yet.
But I think he's a top player in his role. I think he's become that. I don't think he was that at the start. I think he's definitely become that.
And he may not be done getting better. And if he does keep getting better, then superstar. I mean, there's potential we do this in 1 year and he could be on the superstar. So
yeah.
Let's hope.
Harrison Butker.
Is he a superstar? I think he is.
Hold on. We need to pause here.
Okay.
I've been really good about not getting off on the tangents, but HC Chiefs fan. Okay, I'm older than the Sega Genesis. I'm older than the Sega. I'm older than the Nintendo. You're older than the Commodore 64, my friend.
Yeah, there's a whole side conversation going on that you're not paying attention to. So,
all right, back on it.
Yeah.
Butker, I agree with HD Chiefs fan. I agree he's number 4 on this list, GOAT. If you look, he boasts one of the best percentage averages of all time kickers. I mean, he's got an 88.6% accuracy. I mean, the dude's been in multiple Super Bowls, ice through his veins.
You trust his knee?
He's got the balls to say some really political shit. I mean,
that has
the
nothing
dude's
to do
got
with football.
ice.
Come on,
I'm just saying he's got balls. He's got balls.
Do you trust his knee and his new kicking style? Oh, by the way, does he come out this year with the same kicking style? The one that he said that he kept after
drop
his
back?
knee? Yeah.
I would assume so, yeah.
Look, Payne. I don't think so. I think he just wasn't.
I mean, he's been doing it for years,
and he had to favor.
He's been doing it for years.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, not maybe. Really.
No, I'm saying, will he keep it? Maybe. I don't know. He also had that same injury for years.
Yeah, but
that was an injury.
It's kind of like a golf swing. Once you change something and really get the muscle memory down, you change to that can really jack your stuff up. It's like going down the highway at 95, throwing in reverse. It just messes your whole transmission up.
And maybe it's just because I got 50-year-old knees and I can feel it. But when he goes down to his knee like that, I'm like, oh.
I just feel like it hurts his butt. But I mean, he's a Butker. So, I mean, maybe he's got, the big glutes.
I don't know, man. Maybe I don't know, man. Maybe I'm a hater. I think he's a superstar, but
he's going to be he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I feel strongly about GOAT, okay. But I mean, if does anybody in chat agree with Buck? He's just a superstar and not a GOAT.
He's got a lot of love there. HT Chiefs fan said Buckner's a GOAT. Brian said Butt's a 1, which in his mind means he's a starter. But that's the highest you can get on his list as starter. So it's hard to say. Brian, why don't you break out of your 1, 2, 3, 4 for just Butker for this conversation? Would you say he's a GOAT, a superstar, or a top player in his role? Dinosaur.
Yeah. Okay. Brian's just going to say 1.
All right. Fine.
He's a 1.
But they're also 30 seconds behind also. So so we might not see his response for another 30 seconds.
Kelly Doak says, I can't stand him, but he's a GOAT. It's very big of you.
I'm down, Kelly.
I get it. What he said was not okay at a girl's graduation from college. But he's definitely good on the football field.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, read the room, Butker. Read the room.
You say he's smart, but he wasn't smart enough to read the room.
His freaking wife was like, it's like what's that Team America World Police where he's like,
That's my favorite scene.
Oh, let's
He's
not
like,
talk
I'll give a
about that.
sign.
Buck and I almost died that night.
Almost
I was
literally.
living in LA working at Warner Brothers and just came home for a weekend and we went and saw that with a group of people and Buckman and I we couldn't even breathe, dude. We were laughing so hard.
It was so funny, man. Yeah.
Oh man.
Ben
All
has something here. One note going back on Karlaftis is that whenever we talk about anything starting D linemen, is that Jones' presence on the line makes all D linemen better because of how much attention Jones commands. That's true, but Karlaftis also has to be Karlaftis to get to the quarterback. I mean, Amenihu has the same potential to get to the quarterback that Karlaftis does, but Karlaftis tends to get there more often. And it's because he's a better defensive end, or he's better at his position. But I'm not going to take Karlaftis off of where we've got him because whether
Yeah,
you
I
think
think
that it's because
like
of Jones or not.
you talked 2 years back. I've got Karlaftis as a solid starter for sure. Maybe I, was hoping he'd be a future star, maybe, but like I've got Karlaftis as a solid starter
I think
2 years ago.
you know what
But after this year, I mean, I think he's top player in his role.
you know what I think that you would have had him in the future star, and I think I can prove it. Okay, because we put Ashton Gelati in future star, and he
His
is George
rookie year.
Karlaftis Jr.
No, he's George Carl. No, he's going to be better.
Okay, maybe, but
he's definitely better.
But we had high expectations of Karlaftis when he was drafted as well.
I didn't. No,
I
told everybody Karlaftis is going to be he's going to be a great starter, but he's never going to be like, I was wrong. Like, that's one of the ones I was wrong about back when it first came out. I thought he was always going to be just kind of average, but because of his motor, he was going to be good. In his first year, most of his sacks were coverage sacks. I was like, he's going to be solid, but he's never going to be a superstar or a top player in his role. And he's proved me wrong. He's one of the ones where I could say, dude, I was wrong. I
wasn't paying attention to it last year, but I feel like a good handful of his sacks last year were coverage sacks. I think now that we've had this discussion, though, I'm going to pay more attention to that this season. But
oftentimes it's quite a bit of time before he gets there, but he has a motor that does not give up.
Yeah, he's got heart. He's got heart for days.
All right, Hollywood Brown. This is a hard one to gauge, dude, because Hollywood was supposed to be wide receiver 1, dude, like going into the last year, and he got hurt that first playoff game, first play.
Well, yeah. So now, are we talking about what he's accomplished in his career, or what he's accomplished as a Chief, or what we think he is today going into this season? I think all three of those could be different answers.
What he is today going into this season, I think that's what all of these are.
I mean, I think he's healthy, and I think he's ready to come out and be. I think on a lot of teams he would be wide receiver 1, but we got Rashee Rice, who I think most people regard as the better receiver. I wouldn't say he's a superstar. You could say he's a top player in his role as a wide receiver 2, just based on what he's done in his career and what we think he's going to do this season as long as he stays healthy. I say future star.
I have to say solid starter for me, but I could be talked into something else. I would say solid starter right behind Amenihu. But what do you say?
I still think he's definitely not going to be wide receiver 1. He's going to be wide receiver 2, maybe even 3, which would make him top in his role, top player in his role as a wide receiver 2 or 3.
Because that would be his role, depending on
right.
But are you saying his top player in his role is wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 2?
Well, I think either one, honestly. But you
I would
could
agree.
also
Wide receiver 3. I would, and I'm not saying slot. Like I'm not like because that's not how it works. We figured that out. Ben Parrott helped us figure that out months and months and months back. But if he's the third most gone to receiver, I think he's top player in his role. If he's the number 2, I think he's solid starter.
Okay, so what if we just say this? Top player in his role is wide receiver. And it regardless of which one he's in, he's a wide receiver. So is he a top player in his role? No, he's a solid receiver. He's a solid starter.
I
Okay.
think he's a
I
solid
think I
starter
think
for
that's
right
the way
now.
to play this.
It's
Is
been
to
a couple years since he's shown Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's
And
been more like Bollywood.
yeah, yeah.
You know, like I mean, we just need to see. I'm torn on in front of Charles or not, but Charles being able to go into the inside of the defensive line and the outside just makes me think of him as just really like useful.
Man. But Hollywood, had he not been injured, I don't even think we're having this conversation right now. I really do think, even when he came back, he looked like
Menahue not being injured, I don't think we're having this conversation either. He was going off, and then he got hurt in
maybe
the
we're having this
playoffs.
conversation, but it's in the top players in their role instead of
Yep.
here. Who knows?
Yep.
It's hard to say. We saw more of a Menahue than we did Hollywood through the end of the season, so let's just keep it that way then.
All right, Isaiah Pacheco. Fan favorite Isaiah Pacheco. Oh boy.
I feel like people are going to be mad at me for this.
They're going to be so mad at us for this one.
Solid backup.
I think so too, but that's how bad our running back room is. I think.
Yeah.
I'll put him like in front, but I think he's a solid backup, dude. Like, I mean, even if he comes back, so if he comes back as Pop before the injury, he would be solid starter.
Do you think
but
so?
Like, I don't want him to start.
Man, when you say solid starter, I think of a guy that's his position. So when you're talking about a running back, you're talking about the running back that is running on first and second and then half of your third downs. And he is your guy.
But Andy doesn't. Andy doesn't play. Like, we have to think of it in the Chiefs' offense and Andy's offense. And Andy doesn't play a premier back. He just doesn't do it. He did it for 1 year that I can think of out of his entire career, and that was Kareem Hunt, and Alex Smith was his quarterback.
Right.
Like,
so we don't have. So we don't have a running back that is a solid premier running back on any other team that runs with a solid premier running back. So they're all solid backups.
If we're saying solid starter, I'm saying a solid starter
for our team.
Like, well, but also it's like a running back that's as good as like the 25th to the 15th, like, or 25th to the 10th, like that's what I'm talking about. Solid starter. Like, it's
okay. So if we're talking about
not, like, top player in his role is badass. Superstar is super badass.
Okay. So we got to go ahead and bring up Kareem Hunt then, because I know he isn't next in line, but we have to talk about this. If we're talking about running back on this team, there can only be one solid starter. There can't be two solid starter running backs.
I don't think we have any solid starter running backs, but we'll get to them. But I don't think we have any solid starters.
I thought that's what we were arguing here, is that.
Well, I don't think the Chiefs have any solid starters.
I agree. I agree. I think Kareem Hunt maybe last year could have been on the very tail end on the solid starter. But I think
he might be better this year. Like, we got him off the couch. Like, him going through a whole training camp and him actually getting back in shape. I mean, I've been getting back in shape, dude. I'm feeling good last couple weeks. It's been great.
It is a little bit different for a
That's
Professional.
definitely different. But what I'm saying is he, and he was kind of like he probably mentally. Here,
He's only 29.
we'll talk about Kareem Hunt when we get to Kareem Hunt. Let's.
He's only 29. Well, yeah, but okay. So yeah, no, solid backup. That's where I'm going with it.
Yep. I'm with you there. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Kelly.
Yep, Kelly agrees. I want to put Pop as a solid starter, but
I want to so bad. I want him, dude. I was even the one. I said he was better than Edwards all air. Like I was like, I was screaming.
Down. Do you remember last season they had him run the same exact play on 3rd and 4th and 1, and he couldn't get the first down, and that was it. He was never the same after that series.
Yeah, but
we both talked about it after the game.
And he's always not broken tackles, but he's always just had that pop. And if he has the pop, he could be solid, but he just hasn't had the pop.
Fan says out of 32 teams, I lay money that Pop is the starter for 28 of them.
Oh man, I would bet my house on that, dude.
Yeah. That's look, man, I think I absolutely love your passion for this game, and
I love Pop, and I want him to be amazing.
Yeah, he's such a great guy,
dude. He is such a great guy,
and
but he's just not great at running back.
I would be so happy to in 3 months from now come back on here and be like, HD Chiefs fan, I was wrong, man. Pop is future Hall of Fame. Look at the way he's playing this year. Pop is a one, but he's blind.
That's the truth. He runs into his own line so often.
He's so
that's a bummer. It's a bummer. But all right. You tell me 28 running backs that are better, dude. We could, but we don't have. We don't have time for that. But we can
bring up a list.
I could give you a good 2 on 10 teams that are 2 of them that are on each of the 10 teams that are better than Pop. I mean, shoot, Elijah Badger's better than Pop. He just gets hurt.
All right, Brian, you're right. He does have the heart of a raging bull. Nobody's questioning his heart and his his
and
attitude.
that smile
awesome.
that smile could melt
it's
anybody.
Amazing, but
I see that and I'm like, oh, okay.
Production in an NFL costume, in an NFL jersey, like you got to do it between the lines, and he was not the same after that 3rd and 4th down. Hopefully that changes this season.
Yeah.
Hope I'm wrong.
I do too, dude. I really hope I'm wrong. I hope he comes back and he's amazing.
That's right. I've never wanted to be so wrong.
Dude, I hope so bad that I'm wrong. But all right, we're on to Jack Cochran. I mean,
leave him.
Another solid special teamer, though. I mean, like you gotta he's the right size for special teams. I like it as solid backup because he's a special teamer, but I could take him or leave him too, if I'm being honest.
If that's the only thing he offers, I mean, is he a solid backup or is he just a special teamer? If his only role is special teamer, then I can't put him as a solid. Then I can't put him as a
never
solid
had a sack.
He's not really playing a role on this team other than special teams. And you can probably find a guy that can perform the same as him on special teams and then still provide something to.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Our team's getting so deep that we could have stars on special teams, as long as they're willing to play it. But you are making it. All right, I'm going to put him in, take him or leave him. Sorry. I'll put him in the beginning though.
Above Roland Wallace?
Yeah. Just because, dude, he really plays a lot of special teams, and Jaden Hicks.
Dude, I think we're talking about a future star.
Dude, I'd say
you think he's already a top player in his role?
Hell yes, I do. He was our number 1 interceptor last year and played a 3rd, maybe a 4th of the snaps. He is he's going to be we're going to put him at superstar next year.
I just have a hard time saying that about a guy that wasn't even a starter.
No, he wasn't, but but he has stats better than starters.
You got to give him some time in the role before you can say he's the top player in his role.
Do I? Why? Why do I have to do that?
Because it's, I mean, that's like saying that Ashton Gelati is a top player in his role.
No, because we've seen it.
You can put him ahead of Ashton Gelati.
Dude, I'm telling you, like the only reason we could have afforded Justin Reed, and the Chiefs didn't. I'm telling you, dude, he's a top. I mean, he hasn't performed as a top player in his role, but isn't this what we think this year's going to be? Not actually ranking them to what they were last year. Like,
Yes,
isn't this what we think they're going to be this year?
It is, but do you?
I mean, he's a future star for sure, but I think he's already a star.
You've had to have at least put something down on paper to put a guy there.
He did. He led the Chiefs in interceptions last year, playing a fourth of the snaps.
You got any stats to back that up?
I'm looking at him right now. 3 interceptions.
I'm just messing with you. All right.
23 solo tackles, 6 assists in the postseason, 10 solo tackles, 3 assists.
So for those of you that haven't been watching since the very beginning, because not many people were, we loved Jaden Hicks coming out of training camp just as much as we loved, almost as much as we loved Carson Steele. But we were pumped up on both.
I loved Jaden Hicks more, but
we got a lot of Steele right off the bat because of the running back woes and the injuries. So we got a lot of Steele right off the bat. So we kind of, I don't want to say forgot about Hicks, but he was kind of on the back burner. He wasn't playing very much. And when he wasn't doing a whole lot. And then as the season went on, I think he was picking up the defensive scheme and, kind of learning how to position himself with the other guys on the field and when to be where and where to be when and all that good stuff. Right. So do I think that he's picked it up and he is going to be a top player in his role this season? I think he will. I really do. But I have not seen anything that makes me say, yep, he's a top player in his role. That's all I'm saying.
All right, fine. I'm putting him at the top of solid starter then.
No, you can put him at future star.
Are we good with that?
Wait, no, don't you think the future star is better than solid starter?
Oh, no. Future star is a guess. Future star. I don't think Ashton Gelati is gonna start. I think future star is like the top end of solid backup.
Okay. Then I almost feel like we're missing something between solid starter and top player in his role. But okay.
I really, really want him top player in his role, but you make good points, so I'll have to just concede.
Well, right. Okay, but you also did kind of talk about the GOAT doesn't necessarily have to be the GOAT. He's not the greatest of all time in his position. Chris Jones is not the greatest to ever play defensive tackle, but for meanings of this,
he's one of the greatest that has ever played.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's one of the top 5 in his position
of all time. Yeah.
So then superstar is a top 10 in his position. So a top player in his role is a top 15.
Yeah, current. 15? Somebody, like Creed could get injured in training camp and never play again, and that he's not going to be a GOAT. You know what I mean? So that's why he goes superstar, right?
Okay. I mean, I could see putting him there. Go ahead.
I think he's going to be a top. I think people don't even understand, dude. He's going to be so good.
Brian's still on Pacheco. He said Pacheco closes his eyes and hauls ass. It's right. He has no vision. He's got no vision. He closes his eyes and Oh no, HD Chiefs fans said you guys are starting to make me feel like the Chiefs are weak as the Titans.
Dude, the Titans, half of their team is already in take them or leave them, bro.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
no, I
we're
don't
just
think we
trying
are
to
weak.
be real. We're just trying to keep it
We're
real.
trying look, we've got 4
We
guys
have,
listed as GOATs.
we
We
have
have
a
4
lot of good
we are
guys
tr
coming in
we're
here too.
trying to keep it real, man, because, like, I mean, how many Chiefs fans out there think that we literally have 13 guys that are GOATs right now? Like, and that's just
There's
kinda
probably
how
a lot of
Chiefs.
Chiefs fans that think that, but
That's right, exactly.
we
And so we're trying to keep it real. We're trying to keep it grounded a little bit. Like, I
all
don't
right,
think the
Jake.
Chiefs are weak. I think this is a strong team.
Oh, I think this is the strongest team we've had in a long time. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
this is the strongest team we've had since 2018. Which
Barring injuries.
that's the one we lost to Tom Brady.
Tom
Thank you,
Brady,
D
yeah.
Ford. But
Oh, yeah,
but
we almost won.
yeah, but like I mean, we still didn't win, even though it was the strongest team then.
Okay,
And
why are you waving him around like the top player in his role, solid
so
starter area?
I've done this with everybody. Jake
Oh,
Brittingstool.
I thought you were aiming at those 2 lines. My bad.
Jake Brittingstool.
There's a lot of
Everybody loves this guy. Maybe it's
there's
because
a
he's
lot of
blonde
talk.
and good
I
looking.
think, yeah, I think he's just getting a lot of love for his looks. We've seen nothing other than what we've heard coming out of OTAs. So for me, it's take him or leave him.
Well,
He's a UDFA. Like,
and so okay, so he has looked really good in OTAs. He's catching some crazy good catches, but they're in shorts and no pads. And I haven't looked this up. I haven't really looked much up about him at all. But our buddies over at All Chiefed Up have looked into him.
there's some smart
And
guys over there.
Mike says that basically the knock on him in college is that he couldn't take a hit. He alligator arms. Like as soon as he gets hit, he drops the ball. Like so, no matter how good you catch, if you can't take a hit, you're not going to be a tight end in this league. So, yeah, I'm going to take him or leave him for Jake. And I mean, I'll put
And
him above Elijah Badger.
Yeah, and it's not to say that he's not going to be a solid backup or a solid starter. He might be. He just has to show something. You know, remember last year? What was that guy's name? That came from Dallas.
Oh,
He was
the
the
guy
tight
that got
end.
in fights with
Yeah, the
everybody
guy
on the
that got in
sideline.
fights. Yeah, yeah.
I
There was a
forget.
lot of talk about him. Like he was really turning some heads at the beginning of the season during practice, but it wasn't translating to games.
Well,
So,
that was even with the pads on. Like,
yes, it
Jake,
was.
Jake hasn't even put a pad on. So,
No.
yeah, you good with this right here behind?
I'm behind Felix is good. Yeah.
Yep. And everybody listen to Brian Parrott. Hit that like button, share it out. Come on, guys, help us out. All right. Bring a stool.
HT Chiefs fan said Jake better bring a stool to watch the real tight ends. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh my gosh, you made me take it down the wrong pipe.
That's not the first time Bob said that in his life.
Oh.
So who do we got next?
All right, next
Jalen
we
Royals.
have Jalen Royals. Everybody is just freaking out about Jalen Royals.
I've seen a couple of catches.
With like, dude, he definitely has skill, but I mean, like, give the guy a break. Like, the guy's not gonna like, unless there's injuries, we're stacked. Like, I mean, he's gonna be wide receiver 5, like under Juju, because Juju's gonna be the dirty work guy.
Okay, so he's gonna have Sky
Juju's
Moore's
not
role.
as talented, but Juju's gonna have Sky Moore's role.
Okay, so here's the deal.
So
Sky Moore was given opportunities, only a few. But the reason he was only given a few is because when he's given opportunities, he's failed more often than he's succeeded. So if this kid comes out and he's given a few opportunities and he performs, you know, next season could turn into more. I see that as a future star, somebody that is able to rise and elevate his career through the fastest path that he's able to do it. It's not going to be a fast path for him unless there's injuries.
I
Although
agree with you
does
completely about
have
future star, though.
he does have return capability too, though, right? Special teams.
He has, I don't know how much, like he does have it, but I think even Noel might have more experience than him. I
And I
could
think
be wrong here, though. I could be wrong, but he definitely. So Jalen Royals has an interesting story. So Jalen Royals was a basketball player forever. And then I believe his sophomore year, he realized that wasn't going to happen. And so he was a walk-on at, maybe Chad can help me out. He was a walk-on, like a walk-on recruit, came in and just turned heads, right? So he's a converted basketball player, kind of, you know, so he's got he's very raw. I mean, he has a chance to learn a lot from this receiving core. His physical abilities are unreal, but he has an interesting story. He's not been a football player for the majority of his career. So it's interesting to see
Kind of like Tony
him
Gonzalez.
going. Yeah. I mean, if he is smart, can pick it up fast, I mean, he has a chance. Him getting drafted by the Titans could have been a career end for him. Him getting drafted by us could mean he's a future star.
Yeah, I mean, so Kelly said something really smart here. He hasn't shown anything yet. Talk to me after training camp. You're right.
No,
I mean,
that's not she wrote that for
Hicks
Jake.
oh,
Jake
for
Brittingstool.
Okay.
I don't know
But
how she feels about.
I,
And I
I
shouldn't
mean, I
say
just
she. It could be a guy, Kelly.
it could be.
Kelly's a
Yeah,
guy's name too.
I
Sorry
think I
if
said she one time, and then I was like,
sorry if I was wrong there.
I was gonna say Kelly. Um, it's really hard to tell with these guys, but we have heard some things coming out of the OTAs, and so you've got ideas of how these guys are going to perform once they get to the big stage. And so we have hope that these guys will be future stars. There's an argument that you could say take them or leave them. There's an argument that you could say that they're going to be solid backups this season. But I I think that there is potential for him. The thing is, like we were saying though, he's not going to have a lot of opportunity, so it's not going to be a quick climb unless he does something like Tyreek Hill did with where he was like a fantastic returner to where they just couldn't not put him in as a receiver, and then a few awesome plays. That's such a freak incident. That kind of thing could happen, but for him, he could be in that future star role for 2 or 3 years before he could be upgraded to a solid starter. And that's not due to a lack of his ability. It's just his situation.
And yeah, we're stacked. Like it could. I mean, Xavier Worthy was supposed to be a gadget player for us last season, but injuries turned him into a superstar. You know, like so. I mean, Xavier Worthy like turned into a rookie superstar, whereas he probably would have had half the stats he had if we had had everybody else in there, especially Rashee Rice.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know if you.
All right, we're good on calling Kelly Shee.
Yeah, we're good on calling Kelly Shee. Thank you, Kelly.
All right, James Winchester, our long snapper. Boom.
Top player in his role.
Goat.
Really?
Goat.
I guess I just don't know enough about the long snapper.
I don't either.
I'm going to be honest with you.
I knew he's played for a long time, but I just Googled it. So comparison to other long snappers, Super Bowl wins. He's tied with Dale Hennestre and Lonnie Paxton for the most Super Bowl wins
for
as
being on
a
the
long
team.
snapper.
Like
as a long snapper, longevity and playoff appearance, he has the potential to tie the NFL record for longest career without missing the playoffs with 11 seasons. If he does it this year, punt coverage, his speed and ability on punt coverage rank him among the top long snappers in the league. I think,
top player in his role. That's exactly what that said. Top player in his role.
If they put long snappers in the Hall of Fame, I mean, he would make it, which would make him a GOAT, right?
I didn't hear Hall of Fame there. I heard.
Well, do we have any long snappers in the Hall of Fame?
No, I'm just saying when you're talking about.
Are there literally any long?
Probably not.
Snappers?
Kendall Gammon might have made it in as a long.
There. So
I'm just saying, like that final thing said, he's one of the top in his role.
He's a GOAT for his position, though, right?
I don't think so. I'm willing to put him in superstar.
All right,
but definitely behind Creed.
All right. I will concede to that.
Well, hold on.
But I really think he's a GOAT of the long snappers.
Agrees with you. He said,
I really think so, dude.
Okay, fine.
Sweet.
Put him above Harrison.
Sorry, Bucker.
That was for you, Kelly. All right. Who's next?
All right. Next, we have Jared Wiley. When did we take him? He was a 3rd round pick, right?
I don't remember what round he was.
Jared Wiley. He's never played for us. A 3rd round pick, I think, 2 years ago.
I thought wasn't it last year? No, it wasn't
not last year, but the year before.
Yeah, that's
and he's been just injured his entire career. Dude, I don't even I'm sorry. He's gonna start on the pup list. Like, I think he's take him or leave him.
Couldn't agree more.
Maybe up above here because of his potential. Like, but I don't know.
Man.
Yeah, I think take him or leave him, dude. I mean, he has shown us nothing.
Well, HD Chiefs fan, sorry, I bounced around here. Kelly said leave Wiley. HD Chiefs fan says Wiley is a solid backup until proven otherwise. I just don't think he's even proven that he's a solid backup.
Proven he's a solid. Yeah, I mean, he's literally not been on the field once. He's just been injured, and yes, that happened to Travis in his first year, but Travis came back. Jared has not shown the tenacity or resolve to get back from his ACL injury, and it's been a long time. I mean, I don't get it.
I believe that if he was the best option, I don't think we would have seen as much of Noah Gray this last season.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. I gotta leave him and take him or leave him. Sorry, HD Chiefs fan. But you can make your own later. You can tell us where we're wrong. Jawan Taylor.
Oh. Is he a solid starter? I think his level of play makes him a solid starter. He's just.
I think he's a solid starter over Chamari.
So
actually over Drew. Honestly, I mean, dude. If you look at his stats in PFF, he's one of the best right tackles in the league.
He is. He's a great tackle.
Not false start.
I know, man. It's so frustrating. He's like, "What? You gave me a penalty because I started back here? Okay, well, I'm gonna start right here."
I mean, honestly, but so many other players do it. It's just like he has the reputation for it. Yep. So everybody calls it on him.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, I think right here is good.
But I'm good with that. He could be a top player in his role if he would just get one less penalty per game.
Jalen Watson. quarterback 2 last year. Everybody loves this guy, says he's definitely quarterback 2, and everybody seems to forget that he didn't get quarterback 2 until the start of the season, and everybody, Spags, Dave Merritt, everybody said, well, we don't see anybody pushing high, like they literally had to wait till the season started to name a quarterback 2. Yes, he did good at the start, but then he got hurt. Then he came back. He probably came back too early, but he wasn't the same. Like I just don't. I think solid starter, but I don't think
You think
he's a
he's at the end of the
superstar at
list?
all.
Yeah, and I
I
think
think he's above Chamari.
he's not. I think he's between Shamari and Drew.
Yeah.
Yep. Drew is a good line in there, man, because Drew is a very, when you say solid starter to me, like if you looked up the term solid starter in Webster's dictionary, I think Drew Tranquil's picture is right there.
Yeah.
He is he's a badass. We're lucky to have him at this point.
Jalen Moore.
Jalen Moore is hard to, it's hard because we just don't know. We know what we've seen with him as a backup, and he was a backup for a significant portion of the season, and he was solid. I think we give him no.
I'm just messing with you.
Okay. I would even, oh man, I think he's a solid starter, close to the top of the list of solid starters, just based on what he's done.
I think he's here.
You think he's there?
Well, maybe behind Drew. I think he's here.
I think he's ahead of Juwan.
Do you think so?
I do.
Dude, everybody's crapping on him, but dude, every game that he started, he played really good. And
he would have been the starter.
He would have been the
team.
starter.
Yeah.
He was drafted to be the starter because they probably thought that their Hall of Famer was going to retire. Like they just couldn't pay 2 left tackles. I mean, I think the only thing that scares me is that he's been injured all through OTAs, or at least not practicing. I don't know. They won't tell you because they don't have to, injuries and everything. So I'm a little worried there, but I mean, I think he's gonna be good. Like I don't think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be just as good as Juwan Taylor.
If he's just as good as Juwan Taylor,
I think Juwan Taylor
have a great year.
I think Juwan Taylor is better than him. It's just he gets too many penalties. But Juwan also plays right tackle. I don't think Juwan could move to left tackle. So
no, yeah, agreed. And I think if he's not getting all those penalties, he's in the
because
he's in the talk for one of the best right tackles in the league.
When they first brought Juwan in, he was thought to be like possibly the next left tackle. And that obviously didn't turn out like that. So I don't think he's going to be. All right, Jeffrey Bassa. Bobby loves Jeffrey Bassa.
I know that's a reference to something. It sounds funny, but I don't know what it's.
Yeah, it's a reference to you at the end of it was.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, when you were making fun of me about how much I loved him, I want him right here. Right below Ashton.
I know you do. I'm not going to argue. I just haven't really heard a whole lot about him.
Dude, he's good. He's good.
I'm hearing a lot about these other guys, and I'm not hearing about him. But I'm not.
Well, because you're okay in the OTAs, you're not going to hear a lot about linebackers. Like there's just it's a passing thing. Like because they can't have, they can't have contact, so. You're only going to hear about the passing stuff, and like most of the teams don't even use OTAs to practice.
You're right.
They play mini golf.
But I'm seeing clips of Jalen Royals. I'm seeing clips of Ashton Gelati. I'm not seeing clips from Jeffrey Bassa. So look, if you want to,
I'll put him at the back of future stars.
I don't have a problem with wherever you want to put him. I don't think it's a big secret. Bob does a lot more research. He has a lot more time to be able to research these things. So when it comes down to like these fine little detail points, I will almost always.
You shouldn't. Because I honestly just consult Big Pebble. Big Pebble tells
Big
me
Pebble?
everything that I need to know. It's from this show we're watching,
Oh.
Britannica. It's like he uses him. Never, never mind. But a lot of my stuff is gut. Like I do research a lot, but I don't always use stats as all of my like the
Right.
stats play into it, but a lot of it's gut. Like I mean, and I'm not going to change that because I've been right about so many things over
Yeah,
the
no, you
last.
shouldn't. You shouldn't. I'm just saying, and I think you get to watch a lot more video footage of these guys
Oh,
than I'm able to see.
yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, if you watch the start of this podcast, you'll watch me transition from being. I'm always extremely over the top on something, and it was World of Warcraft before this, and it transitioned into me just being Chiefs, and like now I'm just like learning all I can about the NFL, and just I mean I obsess about one thing always. Just that one thing sometimes
yes,
changes.
yes, you do. Yes, you really do. And obsess doesn't even really do it justice.
All right, Josh Simmons.
Dive in, Josh Simmons. Josh Simmons. You already want to put him as solid starter? I want to put him as a future star. No, you can't do that. Future star.
I mean, you
And
can do that. The whole point is we're saying what they're going to be this year.
I'm not comfortable with anything more than future star. Just because we don't know what his knee's gonna do.
We don't.
That
We
right.
know that he's ahead of schedule.
We do know he's ahead of schedule, but do you want him to come out ahead of schedule?
No, I don't.
Do you want him to come out before he's 99.9%?
I don't, but
I think that we're in such a strong position to be able to just hold off. I don't want him to be more than a future star. You can put him at the very beginning of future star. You
I
can't
think
put him as a solid starter. You
I
don't
think
know that.
he would have went top 5 at the bare minimum top 10 if he hadn't had the patellar injury.
But he did.
I mean, but he did. But as far I feel strongly he doesn't even belong down here. I feel he's of another level up here. But I don't know, what does chat think? Oh, HC Chiefs fan thinks
Simmons
solid
is a future
backup.
star. Simmons.
Well, he said future star, and at best at this point, solid backup. Ooh, interesting.
Well, in this graph, solid backup is worse than future star. Woulda, shoulda, blah blah. I agree. HD Chiefs fan says woulda, shoulda, blah blah. I agree. I'm not down with the woulda, shoulda. I hate it when a baseball manager comes out and says, "Well, if you take away the 3 home runs in the middle of the 5th, the guy threw a shutout." Yeah, but he didn't. He didn't.
All right. Yeah. Then if a frog had wings, it would bump their ass.
His ass when he jumped. Yep.
That's what my dad says literally every other time I talk about a golf shot. I'm like, I just aimed a little bit to the right. He's like, well, if a frog had wings. I'm like, okay, Dad. Can we get like a variety?
It was
instead of just that one.
That's a great joke.
Yeah, well, my dad was saying it 20 years before Wayne's World came out. So yeah. All right. So Josh, number 1 in future stars. Then
I'm good with that. Yeah,
I'll concede to that. All right.
What do we got?
Joshua Williams.
Goat.
Joshua Williams. I mean, he has all the.
I don't have a lot on
intangibles to like be great, but like he's just not. So
is he a solid starter?
I don't think so at all.
You think he's a solid backup?
I think he's a solid backup. So I think he's a solid backup, like
in the middle.
Here,
you want to put him above Minshew?
Yeah, but like behind Cook.
Okay.
Is that good for you?
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you on him. I don't have a good solid feeling about him.
All right, so now for the next one, I'll do a little dance
Juju.
for TikTok.
A little Juju action.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Solid backup.
Solid starter. Really, you think solid backup?
Yeah, because I thought we decided we're not doing solid starter as if he's a wide receiver 5, then he's a solid starter. I figure we're going on, if you're a wide receiver, you're a wide receiver. Are you a solid starter as a wide receiver or a solid backup as a wide
So a
receiver?
solid starter would be wide receiver 1, 2, 3.
Probably.
I mean, I think he's
Yeah.
gonna be in there a lot when there's only 3 wide receivers, though. I think he's just gonna be the dirty work guy. But I mean, I'd have him at the bottom of the solid starter group or at the top of the solid backup group.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
I
fine
mean,
with
he's not a future star.
I
He's
see. Yeah,
he's an older guy.
that's past. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm fine if you want to put him at the very end of the solid starter. Just your point is valid. You know, he's not a big time receiver, but he's going to be out there for the bullshit. He's the tank on the team.
And he's also going to be in
Jamie in
pass
the
blocking.
house. What's up, buddy, man? I missed you the last couple of weeks. All right. Oh, Bob's got a little bit of a coughing attack going on. All right. So we figured out Juju. Next on our list is Justin Ross.
Sky
Oh,
Tony.
no, come on, man.
Get him off the team.
No, he is not a Sky Tony.
Sky
He is a
Tony.
solid backup.
No, he is. What?
Dude, he is a solid backup. He makes
Justin
some big,
Ross.
yeah.
Justin Ross. He hasn't made it past the practice squad, but what has he actually made the 53-man roster once? Actually, I don't know.
All right. Take him.
Justin Ross.
Oh, Bob has just got a boner for this guy.
Dude, he's been messing with us forever. Like he's every camp's like, oh, Justin Ross, oh, he's gonna be amazing. And then, yeah, dude, he has a career high of 6 receptions for 53 yards.
How did Sky Moore do last year?
I mean, Sky Moore got no catches last year. Yeah.
Dude, you memorize stats? That's crazy.
Yep, he literally got no catches last year. So, dude, he's our career practice squad guy. Get him out of here. Like, no, I don't want him to. I don't want him to take up a spot on the practice squad.
Okay, well, it looks like we're getting some. Brian agrees. Ross is a 4 cut. That's good. Yeah. What do you mean, King Jamie? Ross, I got you on Ross. You agree with Bob on that?
Dude, he's just we hear about it, and then the one year he might have made the team, like he's the OTA guy. Every time the OTAs are on, dude looks amazing. As soon as the pads come on, dude looks like a squirt.
Yeah, HD Chiefs fan said at this point Nico's better than Ross. Yeah, I definitely I won't argue that. But I don't think he's a Sky Tony. I think
he's Sky Tony.
Come on, put him at the end and take him, leave him.
He might be at the bottom. Dude, I feel strongly about this. What, are you gonna fight me on it?
Man, Sky Tony to me means like,
yeah, get him out of here.
All right, fine. It looks like everybody agrees with you. Everybody.
All right. Next up, Kareem the Mofo Hunt.
Thought these guys like me better than you, but I guess not. Kareem,
no, they're just playing other players. They definitely like you more than me because you're cooler than me.
All right, so Kareem. This is gonna hurt.
Kareem Hunt.
I think he's at the top of the solid backup list.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can't, like, I literally, I'm just going to, like, spoilers. I don't have any of our running backs at solid starter or future star. Just because, like, I just don't think Burchard is going to be. Maybe in 2 years he becomes a premier back. That could happen, just like it happened to Brian Westbrook. But I don't think, I don't think we have a solid starter at the running back role, period. So I would agree Kareem Hunt's top of the solid backup.
Brian disagrees. I think Brian said Hunt is Hall of Fame. It's just a matter of rings. I think he could have been Hall of Fame had
Yeah,
his
if he
career
would have,
not.
if he would have stayed here, he would have been.
Yep, definitely could have been. But yeah, I don't think he's Hall of Fame now.
But
And
yeah,
and we're
then he
only
went and
calling
backed
for
up
this
Chubb.
season. We're only calling for this season. You know, like Bob said earlier during
I'll be
this episode, there's definitely a chance that Kareem Hunt is better this season than he was last season, just because he's more in shape. He's still young. I think I looked it up. He's only 29, I want to say. Let's see, running back Kareem Hunt. Yeah, he's only 29 years old. So I mean, we're not talking about an old guy here. For running back, he's definitely past his prime. He's not going to get better, but he had a lot of rest too. So his body isn't as beat up as some of the other premier backs in the league. So maybe Hunt is going to show us a little bit more. We can't bump him up to future star because
and he
his
does have
future is not rising.
he Tom Blando, my golf buddy, definitely get somebody younger than Kareem. But we want to, dude, but like we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. If we get something done with Trey, maybe we get a free agent, but we're kind of stuck at the moment with what we have. But what Kareem does have is vision, man. He's got great vision still.
Is that something that can be taught?
Vision? I don't. I wish I had an answer for you. I don't know. Like,
if it is,
I mean, really don't know. Like,
if it, man, I'd almost bump him up
like
just
it's
because, for instance, what Hopkins did for Worthy last year. You know, he didn't do a lot on the field, but he was almost an MVP, and just in the way that he was able to coach Worthy into being a much more well-rounded receiver. I think Hunt can help, especially Brashard Smith, but even Elijah Mitchell a little bit with how to conduct yourself on the field, how to play. And if you can teach vision, man, I don't know if that is teachable though.
I don't think it is. And one thing I do want to point out about Kareem, he is going to be in better shape. He is going to look in better shape this year. I mean, when he first came in, he had to take the lion's share of the carries, and he couldn't get out of bed for the first 2 days after that first game. And then he played the entire season. If we had to put one running back that we have on the roster at solid starter, it would definitely be Kareem, but I don't think
so, yeah.
he's a starter. But you also have to think at the same time, if all of the teams are running too high safety on us and we have a better offensive line, like Kareem Hunt could get 10 yards a carry routinely, but I don't think he's going to get 25. I don't think he's going to get any of the big ones, but he could get 10 a carry and then bring that safety up, and then Patrick throws it over the top.
Yeah,
could happen. So
yeah, the long ones where the guys bust out the 65-yard touchdowns. Yeah, Kareem is going to see 20 to 25 yards of that, and then he's going to get caught up with. But if he's averaging 4 to 6 yards per carry, he's elevated to solid starter at that point. I have a hard time putting him there.
We are way over, so we're gonna have to start going a little bit quicker. Kingsley Suamataia.
Take him or leave him at this point.
No. No.
I'm just saying,
starter at guard.
Solid starter
at guard. I'll put him at the end, but the dude was a freak. I mean, just
off the
they
field.
pulled him too early at left at left tackle. Like he probably would have been fine if it wasn't a 3-peat year. He wouldn't have gotten pulled. Kingsley Suamataia is going to blow shit up as guard this year, but I'll put him as solid backup at the top. But I think he should be at the bottom of solid starter.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, okay.
You know,
well,
we can do this
which
again.
one? Which
Let's
one
put
are
him-
you?
I will concede to solid backup the beginning of it. And if you
All
want to do this again, like right before the season starts, let's see if we change our mind on any of these. That wouldn't be a
Well,
bad idea.
if we do it again, we should do it right before the real season starts. After
Yeah,
we
that's
see
what I meant.
preseason. Okay,
Yeah, that's what I meant. Right before the
Okay.
season starts. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So we'll agree there. Christian Fulton, our pickup from the Chargers, the San Diego Superchargers.
I think that he is a solid starter. Maybe future
I think he
star.
goes here.
Okay. All right.
You think so?
I'm not sure where on the line, but I'm good with solid starter. Yeah.
I think he's gonna eat some lunch in Spags defense.
Oh, come on, Johnny B. If you're listening, buddy.
I think he is
to you.
He is a press corner, and the Tiki Tac Chargers just used him as a backup corner. Like not backup, but like what's the opposite of press? Where you give him a whole I can't think.
Space.
Yeah, I can't think of the term.
I can't either.
But they basically use him as that, and like he's not
again.
that. Yeah, he's like he is a press corner, and I think he's gonna eat some lunch here in our system, but you know, only time will tell.
All right, who's next?
Leo Chanel, the reason we won the Broncos game with the block kick.
That was impressive. I want to say solid starter. I have a feeling that you want to say top player in his role. No?
Okay. I want to say top of solid backup because
above Kingsley.
He's a special teamer, I think, and yeah, not a.
Okay.
I don't think he's a. I don't even think he's a future star, honestly. Like I think he's solid in his role. I mean, I guess I could look at his stats again, but I just really don't think he's I mean, he's been solid. I don't know. All right. If he's going to be your third linebacker, I'll go solid starter at the very end.
All right.
But I mean, there's nothing flashy about him.
Except for blocking field goals.
Yeah, there's like flashy on the special teams. All right. We'll go solid starter.
All
right.
What do we got now?
All right. We got Major Williams.
I really don't know where to go with him at all.
I don't either.
I haven't heard a thing, so we gotta say take him or leave him at this point.
Yeah.
He's not turning heads.
I put him in on accident too, thinking it was Noel. I did it with two different guys, but I really liked this guy interviewing on Chief Concerns with Jason Dunn. So, and he is a returner. He is a guy that, you know, he seemed intelligent, but I've got to put him and take him or leave him. But I'll put him like here, you think?
It's hard to say.
Right behind Felix.
You could put him at the very end. I've heard nothing. So
yeah, okay. All right. Matt Ariza. I'll go solid starter, somewhere in solid starter.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's a solid punter, but he's not a top player in his role. He's not a superstar. He's definitely not a GOAT.
Okay. I thought you wanted to put him up there. Yeah, really? I'm good with solid starter. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just because
solid starter.
Put Harrison Butker up there.
Behind Drew.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, he's gonna have to show more. Mike Caliendo.
Solid backup.
Yep. But
I would even say
I think he's like right here. Or maybe right here. Between
sure.
Right here?
Yeah.
That-
Yeah. Who do we got next year?
Mike Dana.
I don't. Oh man, I just feel like he didn't do a whole lot last year. I haven't heard a whole lot about him. I
I
feel
mean,
like it's a take him or leave him.
I
Maybe
mean,
a
he had
solid
okay
backup.
stats last year.
Yeah, I mean,
He had 3.5 sacks, 41 tackles. He had 50 tackles the year before, 6.5
so as a backup, he's really
sacks.
in a position that if we're hearing his name a lot, it's
I mean, he's a
usually not
solid
for.
backup.
It's usually for a bad thing, when we're talking about backups and we're hearing their names. When they come in and they're doing their job, we're not going to hear a whole lot. So no, they're not going to do anything spectacular. So if you're not hearing their name, he's probably a solid backup.
Oh, whoops. Kareem Hunt's in front of Kingsley. I don't know how I got Kingsley in front of him. All right. Mike, but yeah, I think solid. I think solid backup.
In front of Cook, behind Cook.
Yeah, I think in front of Cook. I mean, he's been solid. Like he's been a solid rotational piece for us for
Right.
a bit.
Right.
Okay, so Mike Edwards. So now we're to the third guy that I think could be one of our starting two safeties. Like I thought Jaden Hicks,
So where do you want to put
Shamari
him?
Connor.
Are you wanting to
Mike
put him
Edwards is proven. So I think he definitely goes,
solid
you know,
starter
yeah.
in
And
there?
I
Okay.
think he goes in front of Shamari Connor, but he is older. I think he goes like I think he goes right here.
You think he
I
goes
think,
above Drew?
yeah.
Okay.
Anybody
All
in
right.
chat can let us know if you
I'm not
think
going to
we're
argue.
we're crazy. Mike Pinnell, the run stopping beast. But that's
But
all he's
again,
doing. He ain't getting to the passer.
right. So
But he's like,
he's a solid backup.
yeah, I just don't know where to put him. It's getting tougher now.
Yeah, it really is. Cause I
I'm
mean,
gonna put him behind Mike Dana.
okay.
Hey, and anybody here live, please hit that like button. Please help us out.
And subscribe
Nazi Johnson.
and comment. Nazi Johnson. I think he's I feel like we want to have a conversation about him being a solid starter. And
I don't think so. I think solid backup again.
solid back. I'm leaning definitely towards solid backup. I'm really having a hard time with this future star
I
thing.
mean,
It's like,
I'll put him like right here with Josh. I just don't know who's in front. I honestly don't. Like,
oh, it's yeah. I think you're just flipping a coin there. It doesn't really matter.
all right.
Just stick him in there. But it's
Nick
like
Bolton.
Nick Bolton is. I want to say top player in his
Top
role.
player's role for sure. I
Probably
think above George.
above George.
I do, definitely. I mean, he has
I
like
can't argue that you're wrong.
and like even
I
people
want
that
to,
say
but
he's not good in coverage, check his PFF stats. He's better than most middle linebackers in coverage. Like I think top 3.
yeah, I won't argue if you want to put him over George.
Yeah, Nick is a
He's very
badass, and
he's
anybody
integral.
that says
He's
that
integral
he's
to this
not,
defense.
yeah. If you say he's not, you just don't know ball. Actually, I won't say that. You just disagree with me, and that's okay to disagree. Opinions are opinions. It's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
And then the next thing he would say is, "People that don't know ball have bad opinions." All
Nope.
right. So who's
Nope.
next?
Just saying I should
Nico?
have said that.
Said Nico?
Nico Remigio.
Oh man, I think he's got potential. I really do, but I think he's a solid backup.
I want him and take him or leave him.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't think he's so okay, so let me make my case here. I think he's a great returner. Problem is I think he's too small to do anything else. I think he's too small to even be a slot receiver. He's definitely too small to be a special teams tackler. I mean, I just he's one of those guys that you're like, yeah, you could do it, bro. But
The
it's
only
just,
reason I don't want to put him in there is because his return ability. He is really, really good at returns. But we aren't talking about
but we have
special teams.
so many return
We
people
are
on the
talking about
team.
Nico Remigio as a wide receiver, not as a return guy. So for that,
And dude, King Jamie, I know I'd love to see that too, but do not disgrace Dante Hall's name.
that's a bit of a reach.
Yeah, come on,
I want to
King
see Remigio kick some
Jamie.
holy ass as well. But man,
Yeah, but
Dante was on another.
let's we're getting ready
Dante,
to
if
do
Dante
a
was on this
video about
list,
Dante, and you will remember
we
the
would put
greatness that
Dante as a
Dante
goat.
was.
Dante would be a goat on this
Yep,
list.
yep.
And
Yeah, so
not as a wide receiver, as a return guy.
I'm gonna
But
put Nico in front of Major Williams. Does that feel good for you?
Oh man. I kind of want to put him towards the beginning of the list. Okay, all right. We're only talking about wide receiver.
Wait, but what is King Jamie saying here? Wait,
Wait,
what?
what?
Even
Even
Dante got
Dante
his
got
stride?
his try, bro.
Yeah, but dude, Dante looked so much better in the with the same amount of tries. Although you do have to say it is a different league now, and the returns are definitely different. If Dante Hall was in this era, I guess you could see King Jamie's point, because if Dante Hall was in this era, we wouldn't even be talking about him, because this era is crap for kick and punt returns.
Maybe.
So I mean, yeah. Well, King Jamie, it's just it's Nico's fault for being in the wrong era.
He should have been born earlier.
Yeah. Right. Noah Gray.
You know what? Maybe Nico Remigio's dad could have been, like, if he would have gone into football, he could have been a great return guy.
All right, so Noah Gray, I want here. What is Noah Gray's role?
Noah Gray is a tight end 2, and which is very, very different than tight end 1. It is a blocking role. It is a very
Blocking, not just blocking, like he used to be the backup fullback. It's a really
it's
like
a different position.
Yeah, it's a jack of all trades, Swiss Army knife type of position, and I think he is probably a top 5
But
tight end
I
2
want to
in the
preface
league.
this by saying this has nothing to do with the fact that he had, what was it, 2 games in a didn't he have 2 games with 2 touchdowns? Something stupid, like he's never been a receiving tight end, and he just had a season this year. But that is not why he is the top player in his role.
Yeah, he had 5 TDs, but
yeah,
that is one of the reasons he's a top player in his role. Look at the other tight end 2s and what their stats were. Like, I think if you're if he was a tight end 1, I would have him as take him or leave him, if I'm being honest.
Oh,
maybe solid backup. But as a tight end 2, I have him up here.
I'm just saying, though, had he not had, the only reason that he was receiving this last year was because Travis Kelce was not having he had some good games, but he was very wishy-washy, and we needed a tight end. And a lot of those catches that Noah Gray had was Patrick Mahomes scrambling, which means Noah Gray was not the tight end. He was not the target that was intended on the play. It was just, oh shit, who's not covered? Well, there's Noah Gray, and he got lucky that he was in a spot where nobody was covering a few times, and he made the catch. Cool. My point is, had that not happened, he still plays tight end 2 the way that he's supposed to, and he does a damn good job.
He might be the best tight end 2 in the game.
I'm just saying that he doesn't need to have the kind of offensive stats that he had last season for him to be considered in that category.
Yeah. I mean, I literally think it's just like if we were grading the 2005 Chiefs, I would have Jason Dunn here at top player in his role. Like he was a badass tight end too, like a literal badass. So yeah, I say right here, Noah Gray, top player in his role because his role is tight end two. It's not tight end one.
All right. We spent
All
a
right,
lot of time on Gray.
Noel Fly Zone Williams.
I think this guy is a future star.
Yep,
And I
I'm gonna put
kind of
him.
want
I
I
want him right here.
I kind of feel like he's going to be better than Ashton Gelati, so I kind of want him behind
This
Josh.
year, you think? Really?
Maybe. Yeah, I
I would
really
love you to be right.
I
I
just
think
think
I
the way
think Ashton
Spags
Gelati is going to get more opportunities because of the way Spags rotates 8 across the 4-man defensive line. But Noel has been picking balls off. Like, so Noel, all the coaches in the pressers has been like, oh yeah, Noel's swimming, meaning he's not catching on to the playbook.
Mhm.
But Noel's picking everything off. But he's also giving up big plays, kind of like Peters. You know, Peters was
Oh
like
yeah.
he
He was a home
it
run
was
guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like hit or miss.
Home run or
So
strikeout. Yep.
if Noel can get out, you know,
A little more discipline.
if he can swim to the shore, then he's gonna be a badass. I think he's definitely gonna be a future star, but uh I think he might even start this year on the outside. I mean, I think he might start opposite Christian Fulton on the outside this year. If they're like, so if they have 3 corners on the field, McDuffie, Christian Fulton, and Noel, I think will be on the field. Noel
At
and
some
Fulton
point
on
this
the
year. You don't
outside.
it's not going to start that way.
If there's 2 quarters, yes, yeah.
Okay.
If there's 2 quarters, I think it'll be Christian Fulton and McDuffie. Like they're not going to have McDuffie off of the field.
Okay.
But I think Noel could really be like, I think he has a chance. So yeah, I'll stick him right here in front of Ashton. Yeah. I
All
I
right.
think he has a lot of upside.
All right. Omar Norman Lott. I know you think really highly of this guy.
Yes. I
And
mean,
I
and
feel
you
like you
should.
want to I feel like you want to put him in as a solid starter already.
No, I want to put him in top players role.
What?
Right here behind
He has
he's
never played a down in this league.
he's going to be the offensive tackle too. For sure, almost positive. He is the second starter behind Chris Jones.
Okay.
Almost for sure. He had an uncanny like pass rush percentage at getting to the quarterback. Yes, he didn't play like as many snaps, but that's because that was that like what college was he at? That was the way they did it. They rotated like 12 or 15 defensive linemen, but he had the third highest snaps of any defensive lineman on his team. So he was the one used, you know, the third highest. People are just guessing that stupidly that he's going to get gassed, where there's no proof of that. They never tried to play him more than those snaps. We don't know if he's going to get gassed. Like, but he is going to be a monster.
That's
He's
also something
also
that's trainable though, getting gassed. I mean, you can work on your cardio and you can work on your stamina. That's
yeah, but there's no proof that he's going to get gassed. So here, I want to show you something else too. So Chris Jones is 6'6", weighs 298 pounds, right?
Mhm.
So Omar Norman Lott, height. Okay. Norman Lott is 6'2", 4 inches shorter, but he's 315 bigger. He could possibly be better than Chris Jones when it's all said and done, because he might be able to be a run stopper also. And the fact that he was so good at rushing the passer in college, I mean, he has the chance to be amazing.
I'm
But
just
he's
saying, man.
almost for sure going to be starting, per the Chiefs, not per me. He's almost for sure going to be the starter next to Chris Jones.
We're
And
not talking about a
Mike
first-round pick.
Dana and Mike Pinnell are going to be backups to him and Chris.
Sure, but I mean, man, we're to talk about a rookie as a top player in his role. I mean, we're not. I could see if you wanted to put Josh Simmons in the top player in his role. Actually, didn't you argue that at first?
I did.
Okay.
No, I argued that first because I was trying to get him into solid starter, but somehow you talked me down to future star.
I just think, I don't know, man. You're giving them a lot of credit where credit isn't due yet.
But have I ever done this in any rookie class ever? Like, dude, we have probably the best rookie class I've ever seen drafted in my entire life.
I wish we could put an asterisk on this, like just put them in place and then put an asterisk on it.
Well, we can, because it's it's recorded. I see what you're saying.
So you just say, all right, well, top player in his role, but Buck didn't think so. But if that's where you want to put him, I don't know. I feel like I'm conceding a lot. Like you stuck.
You're conceding. We just talked about how I wanted to put Josh, the top player in his role, and you talked me down to future star.
I'm just saying.
I am conceding a lot. We'll have to watch it back. Everybody.
Right. I think we're both conceding.
We have a challenge for anybody watching this. If you could tally the concedes, we would love it. Put it in the comments. Help us out.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be awesome. It would be awesome.
I think I'd win. I really do.
Dude, I really think Omar Norman Lott is going to really surprise people.
All right, and go ahead, do it.
I want to put him here. It's the only rookie. Fine, I'll put him here. How about that? Solid starter number 1.
All right.
We compromise. It's like a marriage, you know.
Yeah, but okay, so but would you count that as a you concede or a me concede?
I would count that as a compromise, because you said future star, I said top player in his role, and we went solid starter. Whereas Josh Williams would be a compromise for me, because I said top player in his role, but you talked me down to future star, 3 lower. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Rashee Rice.
I'm going to struggle with this one, but I see where you're coming from. I mean, he was on pace for that, and
for number 1 receiver in the NFL. Yep.
Man. All right, let's do it.
All right. Sky Moore. All right, we got him right here. No, actually, we should take that out just in case somebody screenshots it.
Yeah, I know we don't want to look like idiots. You got to put him at the end of the list.
Oh,
he's the worst.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like this list is backwards.
Yeah, no, it's not.
But nope, Sky, get out of here, please. Get out of here. Yeah. All right, move on. Trent McDuffie.
Well, I think he's a superstar. You think he's better than Creed?
Yeah.
Okay. I won't argue that.
Chat. Anybody gonna argue this? Trent McDuffie.
This list was looking very jaded at first, but it's really kind of evening out. Like the middle, most of the guys fall in the middle.
Trey Smith
is a top player in his role. Do you think he's a superstar? Is that where your mind is at?
No, I'm think he's a top player in his role. I just
You're just
don't
trying to think
know.
where.
I don't think he goes above Nick Bolton or George. I think he's solid, but I don't think he's the best guard in the league, which some people say.
I
And
could
I
see I
don't
could see above George, but I'm not going to argue putting him behind George.
all right,
Yeah,
all right. Tyquan Thornton.
man.
He's looked great with shorts
Yeah.
on and no pads. He's looked real good.
I kind of want to put him in as a solid starter.
Really?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take him or leave him for Tyquan Thornton.
Really?
I'm not giving into the hype. Same with Eliza Badger and Jake Ringstool.
All right,
I
I'm gonna let you
like
be right on this one. And
yeah,
this
I mean,
you can't you don't even have to call this a compromise for me.
yeah, I don't even
Like,
I have no clue.
Yeah.
Like Nico showed us more. Yes, he had a shitty quarterback in at the Patriots, but I mean, I gotta see something with pads on before I say
Yeah.
anything about him.
Yeah.
Wanye Morris.
I really kind of want to put him as solid starter.
Really?
I do. I really
Solid
do.
starter as tackle or guard?
I mean, I think he might end up playing guard, but I would do it as a left as tackle because honestly, before he had that injury, which he tried to play through for a few games, he was a solid left tackle. Not great, not solid to good. And then he had his injury. He got hurt. I remember we were talking about it. Like something doesn't seem right with Wanye, man. Like, and then it turned out a couple of games later, we found out he was hurt. I think it was his shoulder was hurt, and he was trying to play through it because there wasn't much they could do. So I want to put him in as solid starter. But if
I think solid backup. I'll give you right behind Kingsley or Pacheco.
see, and this is where I don't like the future star column because that takes anybody that's not really young and makes them not even be able to get that grade. So it's like there should be a grade between solid starter
Do you think he's future
backup.
star?
I don't know that he's a future star. Is he young enough to be a future star?
I
Is he
mean,
going to get better?
okay,
How old
so
is he?
last year was his second year.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean he is definitely young.
I mean, future star is a hard one for me too with him. Like he was solid, but he wasn't blowing the roof off. All right. All right, go ahead and put him in as a solid backup. You
You
can
like him behind Kingsley or behind Pacheco?
behind Pacheco.
All right. All right. Better one. The last one on the list.
Xavier.
We have Xavier Worthy. We're not worthy.
Where do you want to put him? Where do you want to put him?
I want to put him in superstar right behind
I knew you did. I knew
Rashee Rice.
Okay.
I mean, dude. Okay, so let me make my case first. Okay. Get him out of Sky Boar. What the heck? Here, we'll put him over here for now. All right. Yeah, just like I can't have him there.
No,
but for some reason I couldn't put it back down.
Put him back, yeah.
Okay, so Xavier Worthy came in last year. He was going to be a gadget guy. That was the whole plan all through training camp and preseason, even after Hollywood went down. It was still the plan in preseason. Then Rice goes down, and Xavier Worthy is asked to do the unthinkable. You're a rookie. Be our number one wide receiver this year in your rookie year, going for something that has never been done in the entire NFL and do it with class. And you know what he did? He did it with class. And you know who our number one guy was?
Who?
Xavier Worthy. And
Okay.
do you know he led the Chiefs in TDs with 9, 6 receiving, 3 rushing.
That
I
first
mean,
touchdown was a rushing touchdown. That was so badass, where he squirted through the line for his first touchdown. Okay, so I hear where you're coming from, and I'm not going to negate any of what you said. But
I
how
just have
it's
to
really
say he's a
hard.
superstar.
It's really hard to see 2 wide receivers on the superstar list.
Would you?
It's just, man, for
Okay,
2
so
receivers to have superstar seasons.
if you were rating the Bengals, right? Would you have
Uh,
2 of their wide receivers on superstar list?
yes, definitely.
You might even have one on the GOAT list and one on the superstar list. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think.
I could
And
see an
dude,
argument for one,
and
but I mean,
then
okay.
now think about Xavier Worthy,
But they
wide
are,
receiver 2 next to Rashee Rice.
but they're a
Can
lot
you
closer
imagine?
to the Chiefs of 2019, right? So they're scoring a bunch of points because their defense sucks, and so they got to have that. That is not how this Chiefs team is set up.
But what I'm saying, Rashee Rice on the other side of Xavier Worthy.
I'm just saying,
Imagine
man.
what the stats look like then.
So, but do you agree that Mahomes is only going to throw for 5,000 yards if our defense breaks down, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
because
So there's not room for 2
also
superstar
because
wide
of Andy,
receivers.
though. Also
Sure.
because of Andy. But
Sure,
I
regardless
mean,
of the reason,
okay,
it's just
so are you just basing this on stats? Like okay,
kinda.
okay. Well, I'm basing this on superstars on our team. So if Rashee Rice has 1,500 yards and Xavier Worthy has 900 yards, I think he fits in this superstar category. You know what I mean? And Xavier Worthy had what 900 yards last year and 9 TDs, and yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know that he's going to, you know, like I don't know that they're going to be on the top of the NFL list, like, but I think Xavier Worthy is going to have the second most receiving yards on the team as long as everybody stays healthy. Wide receiving core.
All right, but if we go back to the way that we split up this list, right? Your GOATs are your 1 through 5, arguably, and then your superstars are top 10. And you've got 2 Chiefs receivers in the top 10.
Well, I've got 3.
Oh, well, tight
Travis
end.
Kelce.
A tight end and 2. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I don't. This is like these tier rankings. I don't think are just like you could say stats. Like this is their play on the team, their play. Like how, like if you look at this from top to bottom, this should be the most important people down to the least important people. Did we do a good job?
I think overall, I think we did a really good job, honestly.
Well, I'm looking at it now to try to judge.
Oh, you are. I mean, I've been looking at it the whole time. Every time you add a player, I'm trying to figure out how it fits in with the one before. And yeah, I think we did good.
I
think we
think this
did.
is actually a good list.
Yeah, there's a few spots that I think that we differ, but
Yeah.
minute details.
Yeah, but save and download it. We could do it. You could do it again with the full 53-man roster after the last preseason
Yeah.
game. And
then maybe again look at it at the end of the season
kinda
before
rate
the
'em.
playoffs. See how we did.
Dude, that was a fun episode. So, guys, anybody here still hanging out in chat? We're having some guests on But like we need ideas like this. Like this we just came up with last night. We were like, well, there's no news. And lots of other people are just like making news up. We don't want to do that. Let's do something fun, So we thought about like ranking, and I got some of the idea from all chiefed up. I had the idea to use this site, but as far as ranking the players, that was all chiefed up. But I wanted to use the site for something. I think we'll probably use it for our next too soon 53-man roster because I figured out a way to put all the names on the guys and stuff. So it'd be a lot better than our spreadsheet the last time.
Oh,
Nobody
yeah.
talks about the spreadsheet.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was. But
poor content.
Live and you'll learn. You live and you learn. Thank you
We've
guys
learned
for
a lot.
hanging with us and tell us how we could do better. But yeah, I think this was really fun. This was really, really fun. And I know some people, didn't like choices we made, but
B plus, A minus.
yeah, we'll put I'll put a link for this in the show notes and maybe in the pinned comment. Then people could make their own and see how ours differ from each other. But yeah, I had a good time. All right, Buck. I said we're going to do this at the end. Longest episode ever.
Yeah.
So, anything cool happened to you this week?
It's been hot. But I've been lucky. I've been working. I've done some pre-wires, which means we're doing rough-ins on houses that are being built. So no air, none of that. But at least I'm still like under the roof so that the sun isn't beating down on me. And that makes a big difference, man. Yeah, I used to have to work outside in the sun, man. And there are days that the sun, you're just like, you're such an asshole. Just go away,
Yep.
So
and
not having the sun on me, even though it's hot, it's a huge thing. Yeah. I'm kind
I
of
know exactly what you're talking about because when I'm playing golf, like I want to sit in the shade while I'm waiting to tee off, and I totally understand. You're supposed to yell at me during that.
Why?
Because I'm talking about playing golf or you're talking about working.
Oh, yeah. I know.
You're supposed to be like,
whatever. Every day you're like, how was your day? And I'm like, you're like, dude, you'll never guess who I met on the golf course.
Well, I do get up super early to play fast, and then I come home. Like today, to make this stupid little thing we did, it took me like 2 hours to make all this up. But the next time, I'll be able to do it a lot faster because I got different. Like I researched how to get a program to take the file name and make it, post that name on the portrait. So that made it a lot quicker, but it'll be a lot quicker next time because I did have to research how to do that and then get the program and then do it. But the next time it'll be like, boom, So I think this will be really good.
How'd that go again?
Boom, Okay. So I think it'll be really good for the next time we do something like this. And yeah, I had a really good time with this. Made it fun. The only thing that would have been more fun is if Buck could control it too. Like that's the only thing that's a bummer. Like that's why we like having the videos. Buck can pause it when he wants to. I can pause it when I want to. But with this, I had to control it. But it would have been great if
there were some times we would have been fighting each other. Like, no, down here, no.
And then on top of it, we would have been trying to like sneak some stuff.
Yeah.
Like while somebody wasn't paying attention, be like, oh, looks like Hollywood Brown's a couple parts here.
Bob had to walk away for 30 seconds. Oh, this goes right here.
Boom, 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 boom.
All right.
So me. My my quest this week was I paddle boarded for the first time.
Okay.
And Buck warned me when I told Buck, I was like, yeah, we bought a paddleboard and me and Melissa and the dog are going to go on it. And Buck said,
I specifically said, can I go with you guys so that I can record this? I really want to record this.
And I was like, Buck, I ordered one that's, it's like rated for 500 pounds. We're going to be good. And Ben Buck's like, yeah, sure. And so we get out there at Shawnee Mission Park and we got our one little paddleboard and I get Melissa on there and then I try to get on and she's like, and I'm like, okay, Mel, you have to lead. We got to lead to the sides. Like we got you anticipate it. And then, oh God, it was about 7 minutes in and 4 falls. And I was like, Mel, Buck was right. She's like, what? I was like, Buck said we were not going to do this. Buck was right. We're just going to have to, we're going to have to buy another board. And let's just, so we took turns taking Loki out on the lake. It was great. We both did fine without, without the dog. Yeah. King Jamie, listen to the rest of the story. Okay, so yeah, I do blame Mel because Mel was not able to stand up on the board. Bob was. Whose fault is it?
I think it was Loki's fault.
But yeah, so no, Mel and I both did fine. Mel did not stand up, but she's very competitive. She's going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
She just hasn't done it this weekend. But then Sunday, we went and bought another one along with an electric pump because pumping that up manually, no bueno. So bought an electric pump, pumped them both up. She still hasn't taken Loki, but she's going to graduate to that next week. And then she graduates to standing up the week after. But
were you able to stand up and take Loki at the same time?
I have not tried that yet. I've been on my knees, like standing, like as high as I can on my knees with Loki. It was easy. But also this weekend was the worst weekend to do our trial run ever because it was windy as hell. And like everybody that was there was like, dude, promise you, it's so much better when it's not windy. And there were gusts of 35 miles. So like you'd be up for 5 and it'd be like, whoa, whoa. And the wind would just go. Oh man.
As wind does. Yep.
But but it was cool. And the whole reason, I told Mel, like I get plenty of lower body workout, but I need upper body workout before I start to develop movies. I don't want movies. Movies are bad.
Oh, I'll tell you something funny that did happen to me. This is a short story. I had my 5-year-old here and she wanted snacks. She wanted candy. She'd already had a bunch of snacks. So I told her no. And she got mad and she goes, I hate Bob.
No.
It was the only thing she could think of that would hurt my feelings. So that's what she said,
Oh
yeah. Don't worry. Most of the time it's, Daddy, I love you. I know you do. We love you too.
Yeah.
She's a pip.
Kids.
Yep.
I mean,
she's got attitude like her mama.
Is she a redhead? She's not a redhead, too.
She's not a redhead. No.
Thank God.
Yep. We got to wrap it up, though. We got to wrap it up.
We got our longest episode ever. Yeah, I should have done less players for us.
Oh, well.
All right, guys. You can find us everywhere at buckandbob.com. BUKNBOB.com. Buck, where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook. You can also find me on Twitter. It's at Buck_tastic. BUK_TASTIK.
And you can find me on X at Blazin_Bob. It's BLAZZIN_Bob. B-O-B. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go.
Latest in the